What's going on, everybody? Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. Hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and I can't say anything clever about what's going on in the world around us in sports, whatever the case may be, because I'm shooting this video so far in advance. Disclaimer right away, this video is being recorded on Wednesday. Happy hump day for me, July the 3rd, but we're going to be releasing it on, next Tuesday, July the 9th. I've been telling you I'm going to be traveling with my family, but you are my family as well. So I'm making sure that you are taken care of here on the Blog and the Boys YouTube channel, where if you have not subscribed yet, please consider doing so. We are the most subscribed to individual team channel across all of the SB Nation universe. Like the video, turn on notifications, comment, etc., etc. If you want to hang out with me on social media, I can be found on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads at RJ Ochoa, or on TikTok at RJ.Ochoa. So I have, over the last few weeks, been breaking down the Dallas Cowboys roster position by position, going slowly, methodically, so that we get to training camp with ourselves refreshed and ready, obviously, for another season. This is the one every Dallas Cowboys fan has told themselves for almost 30 years in a row. This is, in fact, the latest installment, the latest edition of our Dallas Cowboys roster breakdown series. As I mention all the time, if something important happens while I'm traveling, I have all my stuff with me, or I will have all my stuff with me, and I'll make sure to give you something not just at bloggingtheboys.com, but here on the YouTube channel as well, and obviously across all of social media. So don't worry, I got you. But these are important things to get in the can, to get ready, so that they're ready to just kind of fire off while I'm off, swimming or at SeaWorld or whatever the case may be. Now, quickly, I do write about each and every single one of these at bloggingtheboys.com as well. I've put links in the description down below to every video that I have already done here on the channel, as well as to all of the articles, the corresponding articles, obviously, that I wrote for each position over at bloggingtheboys.com. So make sure to head to BTB all the time, 24/7, 365, or in the case of this leap year, 366. But if you want a direct link, like I said, you can go to the description down below. It is time for the cornerbacks discussion here relative to this year's Dallas Cowboys in 2024. And I've been very excited to get to this. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is, I did not mean to put it that way. Here we go, what the Dallas Cowboys are working with here. As always, these are my categories. This is how I have defined the players to be. You'll note, by the way, that CJ Goodwin is not listed here. Neither is Sheldrick Redwine. Sheldrick will be discussed in the safeties, and CJ Goodwin will obviously be discussed when we get to specialists. So that leaves 9 cornerback names for us to look at and discuss and know in all sincerity. Trevon Diggs, DaRon Bland, Jourdan Lewis, your 3 starters. Obviously, Jourdan Lewis, the team's nickel corner. Eric Scott Jr., last year's 6th-round pick. Kalen Carson, obviously a rookie now, part of this year's draft class. Garyon Conley, this is probably a little bit too nice on my part, putting him in the primary depth category, but more than anything, that speaks to how that 6th spot is really kind of up for grabs in a lot of different ways. That being said, let's kind of get to the group in some specific detail. So Trevon Diggs, I don't know that enough people are nationally paying attention to the fact that he is going to be coming back. Trevon Diggs, when healthy, and he has been for the most part, obviously, throughout his career with the Cowboys, is one of the very best cornerbacks in the NFL. The very best, one of the very best. You can make an argument for this player, that player, whatever the case may be. He is wonderful. He is tremendous. He was given a brand new contract extension with the team, obviously, about a year ago. It was, I think, July 25th when he got it. What a novel concept, by the way, giving cornerstone player of your team an extension after their 3rd season in the NFL. What a weird idea. Maybe you should start doing that moving forward, Dallas Cowboys. But nevertheless, Trevon Diggs, to get him back is such a big deal. I mentioned the date, July 25th was when he got his extension. It was less than 2 months later when he tore his ACL, obviously on a Thursday before the Cowboys visited the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, that was horrible, and it led to a lot of different things that we're going to get to in a little bit here. But the fact that it happened so early in the season, there's no silver lining or anything like that, but it theoretically has provided more time for him to heal and get right and be ready, obviously, than if it had happened in, say, December. I think that goes without saying. But DaRon Bland, and I want to talk about the 2 as a duo in a moment here, is the other name and the player who emerged, obviously, in Trevon's absence. It's unfortunate that we never got to really see Trevon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore play together. Maybe that will happen. Who knows? Unless Gilmore were to sign with somebody between now and the time that this video goes out, that would be horrible timing. But unless it's the Cowboys, of course. But DaRon Bland was wonderful. And of course, he set the NFL record for most interceptions returned for a touchdown last season with that exclamation point on Thanksgiving Day against the Commanders when Jim Nantz had that incredible call that we've talked about many different times. But something that I think is lost and is forgotten is DaRon Bland had 5 interceptions and led the Cowboys as a rookie in 2022. And he didn't just have the pick sixes and all that stuff last year. He had 9 interceptions total. So he went from 5 interceptions as a rookie to 9 as a sophomore in the NFL. And while that isn't necessarily representative or indicative of anything specific, it does suggest that, look, the point is we've got a very large sample size now when it comes to DaRon Bland, and he is somebody who can be trusted to be a verified, takeaway. Not, I don't want to say machine. I don't want to imply that this is normal and this is going to happen often or all the time or whatever the case may be. But the point is he is a very good player. And when you pair him with Trevon Diggs, good things are probably going to happen. I don't know why I still have Diggs up here in terms of the bottom line. But when you pair the two together, I know it's not what we envisioned in terms of last year with Trevon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore, but I'm very excited about this duo and what they offer, obviously, the Cowboys here in 2024. And I mentioned what I wanted to look at here. What you're seeing on your screen are the NFL's interception leaders from 2021 till now. So that's 3 seasons, obviously, worth of data. And you can see that Trevon Diggs and DaRon Bland are at the very top. Obviously, Rasul Douglas also has 14 interceptions, but Trevon has the most interceptions in the NFL over the last 3 years, despite the fact that he missed most of last season. And DaRon Bland tied for second, despite the fact that he was not even in the NFL in 2021. Rasul Douglas obviously has a different kind of measurement, and so does Jesse Bates right behind him. And Bates had a big year last year for Atlanta. But you look at the games played, that's the G on the right side there. The G is the total number of games played by these players. Trevon Diggs has 15 picks in 35 games. DaRon Bland, 14 picks in 34 games. Rasul Douglas also has 14 picks, but in 45 games. Jesse Bates, 11 picks in 40. You can see where I'm going here. Kevin Byard, 10 and 50. Obviously, that didn't work out for the Eagles last year. On and on and on and on and on and on and on. Obviously, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is really impressive with 10 picks in 27 games. He's not back with the Eagles. That's a problem. That's frustrating, whatever. But my point is the Cowboys have one of the very best cornerback duos in the NFL, certainly the most productive. And we really have not seen them play together a lot, specifically in the sense of playing both on the outside, which is how Trevon Diggs and DaRon Bland will obviously be lining up this coming season for the Cowboys. So I'm very excited about this if this isn't obvious. I think that the Cowboys have a lot of potential here, and a lot of that obviously will depend on who's floating in the inside, who's playing the slot, who's playing nickel, and that, of course, brings us to Jourdan Lewis, who is one of, and I know I've been saying this a lot lately, and that's why this exercise is so much fun and so interesting every year, one of the most underrated players on the Cowboys, one of the more veteran players on the Cowboys, and I mean this in the best possible way. He is the new age, modern version of Orlando Scandrick. Look, Orlando Scandrick was a 5th-round pick of the Cowboys in 2008 at a Ball State, so the odds of him making the roster and turning into a player who played for the team as long as he did were very, very, very long, which is why his football career was very impressive. Jourdan Lewis was a 3rd-round pick, right? And he went to Michigan. So you're talking about, and he's one of the only players who went to Michigan who I think people are kind of excited about right now. I mean, very different pedigree in that sense, but he has been such an important member of this team. And remember back in 2017 and 18 when him and Chidobe Awuzie were best friends and rolling around together, and it was so much fun. He has survived all sorts of changes. He was around when Byron Jones was a big deal, was a big name in the Cowboys secondary. He has seen them, go from this to that, to landing Trevon Diggs as a rookie, to Trevon Diggs exploding, to DaRon Bland. I mean, he has been there for it all. He obviously missed a lot of the 2022 season after that horrible injury against his hometown Detroit Lions, but he bounced back last year, and he was awesome. And after Trevon Diggs got hurt ahead of week 3, DaRon Bland had to kick outside, and Jourdan Lewis had to be promoted to manning that nickel spot once again, and he thrived. He was awesome. He was wonderful, and he's obviously inherited that opportunity full-time here in 2024. And I totally think it's fair to trust him. It doesn't seem to me like the Cowboys chose Jourdan Lewis over Stephon Gilmore. Obviously, they were both free agents this offseason. And as mentioned at the time of this recording, Stephon Gilmore still is a free agent. We can talk about him in a little bit if you would like. But in choosing to bring back Jourdan Lewis, to me, the Cowboys have signified we like what we have on the outside in Trevon Diggs and DaRon Bland. We like having Jourdan Lewis as our slot option, and I think that that's totally fine. He is a very feisty, player who is going to go after guys and who's going to not get pushed around, and I think that's what you want, obviously, out of the player who's playing in the slot for you. So I feel very, very, very good about what the Cowboys have going on as far as their top 3 cornerbacks, their starting cornerbacks are concerned, but After that, it becomes a little bit shaky. After the Cowboys are done with their starters, it is a scary proposition, similar to wide receivers I put here in the caption down below. Now, that being said, it's important to say that again, because remember that after week 2 last year, Trevon Diggs was lost for the season. All right. Last year, the Cowboys had Stephon Gilmore on the team, so they had him at one spot on the outside. They had DaRon Bland, who got promoted. Jourdan Lewis managed, like we said, to come in and help keep things going in that nickel position. But who is the name this year? Who is the name that you feel great about if the Cowboys do ultimately have to lean on a fourth player? Now, I am very mad that there were no horizontal photos available of Eric Scott Jr., so I had to do this. It bothers me greatly. But here's what we're looking at. Is Eric Scott Jr. that guy? The Cowboys did trade up in the top of the 6th round last year because they just felt like they had to have him. And maybe they believe in him that much that they are ready to see him kind of thrive if the opportunity presents itself. Like I said, I don't know that we've seen enough to feel like, that's fair. Is, Kalen Carson that guy, this year's rookie? I mean, it's kind of shaky right after those top 3 names. It's a little bit shaky for the Cowboys if we're being totally honest with ourselves here. So that 4th spot, that 5th spot, I mean, I think that these are the players that have those spots, to be very clear, right? Because again, the Cowboys traded up for Eric Scott Jr. last year. His spot on the roster is safe. Kalen Carson is a draft pick this year. His spot is safe. So we have 5 names that we know. But after that, it is a bit of a kind of touch and go, scary proposition, which is why I'll put the whole list up on the screen once again for you here. The first 5 names are very obvious. We completely and totally understand that. Trevon Diggs, DaRon Bland, Jourdan Lewis, Eric Scott Jr., Kalen Carson. Boom, lock it up, throw away the key. Great. Are they going to carry 6 corners? That's the first question. They probably should, because you just never know. If they do, right, presumably, will Jourdan Conley get the bump? Like I just said, he's been on this team for like 5 minutes. I mean, but is he the 6th name automatically right away? He obviously has a history with the Cowboys staff now that it's been changed a little bit defensively. But is Nahshon Wright going to be that person? Will Nahshon Wright even make the team? I don't think so. I mean, it's been a very long time since Nahshon Wright was a 3rd-round pick himself for the Dallas Cowboys. And I have a hard time believing that he's done anything to really warrant or justify having that spot on this team. This is obviously going to be a spot that involves a lot of special teams work, et cetera, et cetera. But still, I mean, if I had to bet right now, is the 6th player, let me reframe the question. If the Cowboys carry 6 cornerbacks, if that's the question you have to answer, you can let me know down in the comments down below. If the Cowboys carry 6 cornerbacks, is the 6th name on this screen right now? Is the 6th name on the team? Is it Stephon Gilmore? Right? If they bring Stephon Gilmore back, because they could, again, at the time of this video, it's being recorded on July the 3rd. He's still a free agent, right? I mean, that would be awesome. I would feel if Stephon Gilmore were to come back, I'd feel incredible about this team. I really do. Or at least their cornerback group. I'm on cloud 9. Maybe it's somebody else, right? And maybe it's some other sort of veteran, but I don't feel great about this if the Cowboys are pressed to have to rely on anybody outside of those first 3 names. And maybe Jourdan Conley is the diamond in a rough that they've just found. Maybe Eric Scott Jr. takes a leap in year 2. Maybe Kalen Carson just kind of shows up and shows out as a rookie, the way that DaRon Bland did, the way that Trevon Diggs did. You just never know. And that's what training camp is going to kind of help us figure out an answer. But if they carry 6 corners, I really don't know who that 6th name is going to be at this moment in time. But like I said, we don't have to know quite yet. So that's a look at the Dallas Cowboys cornerback group, the latest installment in my roster breakdown series here on the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel and all throughout the Blogging the Boys universe. If you haven't yet, please, pretty please, with sugar on top, subscribe here to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel, the most subscribed to individual team channel across all of the SB Nation universe. That'd be cool if you could be a part of our cause around here. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram or Threads, you can do so at RJ Ochoa. I'm on TikTok at rj.ochoa. If you want to send me an email, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com is how you do that. Like I said many times, you can leave a comment down below, and I will do my very best to get to those. Also, I'm going to record one more video in advance for you. It's going to be dropping on Thursday. That would be, July the 11th, and that is our safety position. Then we're done with the defense. We're going to start getting into the specialists, the coaching staff, et cetera, et cetera. We're getting closer and closer and closer to training camp officially beginning for the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to experiencing it and everything else, honestly, with you, because as we've told ourselves, like I said, for a very long time, this is the year, this is the one, this is the season for the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll see if that ultimately winds up being true. My name is RJ Ochoa. Your name is, I don't know, but I love it and I appreciate it very much. And I thank you so much for choosing to give us some of your time, because time is a very valuable thing. Thanks, like I said, for giving us a little bit of it. And do me a favor, have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for hanging out. See you next time.